Hi, Paul here from Trekitt with Harry behind the camera as usual, and today we are on the quite beautiful eastern edge of the Black Mountains. Cat's Back is up there, Black Hill over there, and we have the whole valley behind us. You can see right over into the Malverns in the distance. It's simply quite stunning, and it's a beautiful day. It's about 22 degrees, and rather oddly I've come out here today to talk to you about a winter product. Some quite exciting news with regards to new Gore-Tex Pro. So what is new Gore-Tex Pro? Well, Gore-Tex Pro is being introduced. I know it exists already, but it's being reintroduced, it's been reconfigured, and it's been split into 3 distinct categories, and it's being introduced in the new autumn-winter 2020 season, which in 22 degrees heat in July does seem a bit odd. But as far as manufacturing timescales are concerned, autumn-winter starts in about August. So we're going to start to get deliveries of the new Gore Pro fabrics built into jackets by RAB, by Mountain Equipment, by Arc'teryx, and we're going to start to receive those in the next few weeks. So we just wanted to give you a heads up on what all the exciting news is about the new Gore Pro family of products. So before we start to really explain what's going on with the new family of Gore Pro products, I just want to reassure everybody that Gore are still using their uber reliable and high performance ePTFE membrane. All of the Gore Pro products will still carry the guarantee to keep you dry, you know, that cast iron guarantee from WL Gore. So as far as reliability, as far as performance is concerned, not a great deal has changed. You're still getting a market leading and industry leading fabric. It's just been split up to give us a clearer indication of a kind of intended use. And here at Trekitt, we're all about intended use. We're always trying to match the customer to the product to make sure that the product meets their expectations, that the product meets their intended use and their own expectations around that product. And this new family of Gore Pro fabrics just helps us, and it helps you, the customer, to make the right decision around the product that you're going to buy, depending on where and when you're going to be using it. Right, so let's get down to it. What are the new sort of members of the family? So in the new Gore-Tex Pro family, you've got Most Rugged, you've got Stretch, and you've got Most Breathable. Now don't forget, they're all using, at the core of the product, at the heart of the product, is that uber reliable ePTFE membrane. You're still getting that guaranteed to keep you dry guarantee. All products have a 28,000 millimeter hydrostatic head, so you've got that superb, way gold standard waterproofing, and all products are highly breathable. There is some variance in breathability between those 3 product groupings, but we'll go into that now as we go through each one individually. So that's Gore-Tex Pro Most Rugged, Gore-Tex Pro Stretch, and Gore-Tex Pro Most Breathable. Just a little note here, I'm going to be talking about breathability, and the figures for breathability that we're going to be using are the RET. That's the thermal resistance to evaporative heat transfer, or RET for short, and it's a test that WL Gore themselves developed to indicate breathability. And I won't bore you with the details of how the test works, or whether it's viable, or whether it's applicable to real world conditions, etc, etc. There's a whole debate around that, but the RET figures that I give you does really help, or do really help, do really help to differentiate the breathability levels of each product. They just act there as a guide, so you know that this one's more breathable than that one because its RET is lower or higher depending. So that's the figures that we're going to be talking about with the family of products. Before we get into the family of products, there's another little thing I need to mention. Every single one of them, so the Most Rugged, the Stretch and the Most Breathable, all use this new solution dyed micro backer. What's the big deal with that? Well, solution dyeing is is an improvement on the old system of dyeing, because it actually dyes the individual yarns before it's woven into a fabric, and that means it uses a lot less water and it produces a lot less CO2, so it's a lot more sustainable, but it also helps to increase the breathability of the fabric marginally, so you get a more environmentally friendly product, you get a slight better breathability, and you still get that really durable nylon micro backer on the inside. So all three fabrics use the same solution dyed micro backer. Right, let's get into the meat of it, the bit you've all been waiting for patiently. Thank you for bearing with me. Gore-Tex Pro Most Rugged. Bet you can't guess what that's designed for. Yes, it's designed for the most rugged and active outdoor users in extreme conditions. It's suitable for those who are using their garments every day for work, forestry workers, mountain rescue teams, you name it, guides, people who are out there day in, day out, thrashing around the mountains or giving their garments a hard time in an outdoor environment where they need the best protection and durability and strength and breathability and waterproofing. So these most rugged garments are, according to Gore, the most rugged garments they have ever made. They're just really, really strong. Right, at the heart of it is that EPTFE membrane, that expanded polytetrafluoroethylene. Super breathable, but to classify for the most rugged category, Gore have added a micron thin layer of PU to give that membrane just some additional stability and structure and strength. The membrane then is laminated to the face fabric. The face fabric to qualify for most rugged has to have a nylon denier between 70 and 200D. I mean, that's super beefy. You know, normally for kind of general heavy duty mountaineering jackets, you can get up to 80, maybe 90, 100D, but this is going to be super gnarly, super tough. All of the three members of the family, Most Rugged, Stretch and Breathable, are a 3-layer laminate construction, by the way. So you've got face fabric, membrane, and then micro backer. So the Most Rugged, bi-component membrane, super tough face fabric, solution dyed micro backer. And that gives you a hydrostatic head of 28,000 and a RET no less than 9. Okay, so 9, that's good, all right? But that you'll be able to get some comparisons as I work through. So that RET of 9 gives you the breathability. Okay, let's move on to Gore-Tex Pro Stretch. Now again, using the same EPTFE membrane at the heart of the garment. It's a 3-layer construction. Now the big problem with EPTFE is you can stretch it. Now if you're not familiar, EPTFE is the same stuff as that plumber's tape, that white stuff that you put on the threads of your pipes and your nuts when you're doing plumbing. So it'll stretch, but it won't return. And that's no good in a stretchy garment. So if you're kind of doing this, you don't want it to stretch and then stay baggy when you return. So how do you get a non-stretchy elastic material to stretch? Well, the clever way that Gore have done it is they have kind of, if you can imagine this on a micro scale, they've kind of corrugated the membrane before they laminate it to the face fabric. The face fabric itself has a mechanical stretch, so that's the way that it's a double weave that allows the face fabric to come and go, move backwards and forwards. And because of those corrugations, those little ripples, if you like, in the membrane, when the fabric stretches, those corrugations go flat, and then when the fabric returns, those corrugations return into the membrane. It's absolute genius, and it's actually been around for a couple of years, but it's really Gore are making a big thing of this now because they're developing it in this whole Gore Pro family. So you get up to 20% stretch in a fabric, and again you've got that solution dyed micro backer. So because of the way that the fabric is constructed, because you've got those additional layers and because of the membrane, the corrugations, the double weave face fabric, all that going on, it does slightly reduce the breathability. It doesn't affect waterproofing whatsoever. So the hydrostatic head for the Gore Pro Stretch remains at 28,000, 28 meters, hydrostatic head, totally bomb-proof, waterproof, and the RET is at 13. So you can see that it's slightly less breathable. The greater the number, the RET, the less the breathability. So we talked about most rugged with an RET figure of 9. This has got an RET figure of 13, so slightly less breathable, but only marginally, and it does give you that 20% additional stretch. The face fabrics that Gore-Tex Pro Stretch uses are all the same. There's one single fabric choice in Gore-Tex Pro Stretch, and that's a 40D nylon. So a kind of light to midish weight, but it's only available in that one weight of fabric. Okay, and finally we have got the new Gore-Tex Pro Most Breathable. Now, actually, Gore-Tex Pro Most Breathable is pretty much the same as the existing Gore-Tex Pro. It's that air permeable EPTFE membrane. It's a 3-layer laminate construction, but Gore have now, because of improvements in the membrane technology and improvements in manufacturing techniques, Gore are allowing face fabrics down to as low as 30 denier. So that's a really, really lightweight nylon face fabric with a super breathable membrane, and then you've got that solution dyed backer on the inside, that 3-layer laminate construction to give you a super lightweight, super breathable, completely waterproof fabric that lovely brands can turn into lovely jackets and things. So this has got a hydrostatic head of 28,000, same again, all the same at 28,000, but it's got a RET of 6. So you've got most breathable RET 6, most rugged RET 9, stretch 13. So you can see where they sit in terms of breathability. The higher the number, the less breathable the fabric. The lower the number, the more breathable the fabric. It's pretty self-explanatory, really. So the difference in weights in the face fabric, so to qualify for that Gore-Tex Pro Most Breathable category, the fabric weights can go as low as 30 denier and up to 150 denier, and anything with those weights of fabric and using that air permeable Gore-Tex Pro membrane can be classed as Gore-Tex Pro Most Breathable. So there you have it. It's an advancement, it's a help. As a retailer, we find it really helpful to be able to point customers in the right directions, and traditionally what we'd have to do is gen up on all the denier face fabrics and construction techniques and what have you, which is great because we love geeking out on information, and as I'm sure you do as well. You do your research about your product. But this just adds another layer of assistance, because if you know you're going to be thrutching up Five Finger Gully on Ben Nevis out for a full-on mountaineering trip, you want to be looking for a most rugged jacket. If you're going to be doing a bit of running, a bit of mountain biking, some light hiking in warmer conditions, you want to be looking for a most breathable jacket. If you are looking for something with a bit more active stretch and a bit more movement, for climbing, scrambling perhaps, you might want to be looking for something with that added stretch element as well. And this is the big advantage now of this new group of products, because it's the first time ever that WL Gore have allowed manufacturers to blend fabrics properly within garments. So you could find one jacket from any particular manufacturer that's got most rugged in the high wear areas, so around the hood, top of the shoulders, arms, hips for instance. It could have most breathable through the chest and the back area, and then across the shoulders, around the back area, maybe under the arms, you would have stretch. And that equally applies to trousers. You could have stretch around the knees. You could have most rugged down at the bottom by the gaiter, most breathable up at the top. It opens up a whole new world of design possibilities for the people who are leading manufacturers using the Gore fabric. It's really quite exciting. I don't know if you can tell, I'm quite excited. I've been geeking out on all of this information for the last couple of weeks to put this together for you guys. And to be honest, it's been a bit tricky. Gore are not renowned for giving out too many technical details, so I must at this point give a big shout out to Pete Sissons at Montaigne, Matt Benji at Rab for helping me find and dig out all this really useful information that I can impart to you. So thanks Pete, thanks Matt, cheers guys. Okay, so I hope that has enlightened you about the new family of Gore-Tex Pro fabrics. We're excited, we're looking forward to them coming in. Like I said right at the beginning, they actually haven't arrived at our warehouse yet. They are on the way to us, they're going to arrive soon. I think the first stuff to turn up is going to be from Mountain Equipment, but Harry will put a link up on the screen through to our full range of waterproofs. So keep an eye out there, look out for those new products turning up throughout August, and yeah, go and have a look. There's some really good product coming in, some really interesting use of fabric, and some great designs and technologies being applied to this new season of Gore-Tex Pro fabrics. Excellent. Right, thanks very much for watching. As usual, comments or questions in the section below. It's always good to hear from you. We do appreciate the feedback. And yeah, I'm going to go off, I think, and enjoy this beautiful Welsh countryside. Maybe go for a little walk. Thanks again, guys. Toodaloo.